The house stood alone, dark and silent. Its windows were like empty eyes staring out into the night. It was at the end of Willow Creek Road. The road itself was rarely travelled, shrouded in mystery and whispers. No one dared to go near it. The mere sight of the house sent shivers down their spines. Billy, however, loved scary stories. He would tell anyone brave enough to listen. His tales were filled with ghosts, ghouls, and haunted places. But even Billy felt scared of this house. It was different, more real, more terrifying. One night, Billy's friends dared him. They gathered around, their faces lit by the glow of a single flashlight. They dared him to spend the night in the house. Billy couldn't say no. He packed a flashlight, his heart pounding in his chest. He took a deep breath. The air was cold, and his breath formed small clouds in the night and knocked on the old wooden door. The sound echoed through the empty halls, as if the house itself was waking up. The door creaked open. No one was there. Billy stepped inside. Dust covered everything. Cobwebs hung from the ceiling. It felt cold, much colder than it should be. Billy explored the house. Each room was empty and dark. He found a dusty old book on the floor. Its pages were yellow and brittle. He opened the book. The words were strange. They were written in a language he didn't understand. Billy closed the book. He felt uneasy. Something wasn't right. He heard a noise, a whisper. It came from upstairs. Billy froze. His heart pounded in his chest. He slowly walked towards the stairs. The whispers grew louder. They seemed to be calling his name. Billy took a deep breath and started to climb. Each step creaked under his weight. He held his breath, listening for any sound. The whispers led him to the attic door. It was slightly ajar, as if inviting him in, beckoning him to uncover its secrets. A cold, musty smell wafted out, carrying with it the scent of forgotten memories and time-worn tales. Billy pushed the door open. It groaned loudly, echoing through the silent house. The attic was dark, an abyss of shadows. He couldn't see anything, only feel the weight of the unknown pressing down on him. He fumbled for his flashlight, his hands trembling slightly. With a click, he turned it on, the small device his only shield against the encroaching darkness. The beam of light cut through the darkness like a knife, revealing the hidden corners of the attic. In the far corner, the light caught something. He squinted, trying to make out the shape. It was a small wooden rocking chair, old and worn as if it had been there for decades. To his horror, it was rocking back and forth, creaking with each movement. But there was no one there. The chair moved on its own, as if an invisible force was at play, sending chills down Billy's spine. He took a step back, his heart pounding in his chest, wondering what other secrets the attic held. Billy's eyes widened in terror. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. Suddenly the rocking chair stopped. Billy felt a cold breath on his neck. He slowly turned around, his heart pounded in his ears. A pair of glowing red eyes stared back at him. They were filled with anger and hate. Billy screamed. He stumbled back, tripping over his own feet. He scrambled to his feet and ran. He raced down the stairs, his heart pounding in his chest like a drum. Each step echoed in the narrow, dimly lit stairwell, amplifying his sense of urgency and fear. The shadows seemed to close in around him, making it hard to breathe. He had to get out of the house. The walls felt like they were closing in, suffocating him. Every corner he turned seemed to lead to another dead end, another trap. His mind raced, trying to remember the layout of the house, but panic clouded his thoughts. He ran to the front door, his last hope for escape, but it wouldn't open. It was locked, and the key was nowhere to be found. He pulled on the doorknob with all his strength, but it was no use. He rattled the doorknob and kicked the door in a desperate attempt to break free. But it wouldn't budge. He was trapped, a prisoner in his own home. The realization hit him like a ton of bricks, and a wave of despair washed over him. The red eyes appeared at the top of the stairs, glowing ominously in the darkness. They seemed to pierce through the shadows, watching his every move. A chill ran down his spine as he realized he was not alone. A cold, evil laughter filled the air, echoing through the empty house. It was a sound that sent shivers down his spine, a sound that promised nothing but pain and suffering. The laughter seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once, surrounding him. Billy sank to the floor, his back against the door. His legs felt like jelly, unable to support him any longer. He could feel the cold, hard surface of the door against his back, a stark contrast to the warmth of his fear-induced sweat. He closed his eyes and waited for the end. His mind was a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions, but one thing was clear: there was no escape. He braced himself for whatever horrors awaited him, knowing that his fate was sealed.